Boat of bulk labels not for me doesn't make it wrong, just not for me. That's what we're going to talk about today, the efficiencies and inefficiencies in how we work. And not all of us are the same, but it very well could be. So today, and we'll share Paul's video. He sent it to the description to this video. It might work for you. It does not work for me. But again, just like Jenny says, just because it doesn't work for me doesn't mean it won't work for you. So we'll talk about the bulk labels and just my thoughts. I'll share why it's not going to work for me. Victor is in the house. What's up, Victor? David, good morning. Man, table sale, July 23rd Madison Card Show, moving like hotcakes. Booked another, I think, 5 tables yesterday. I do need to to reach out to my regulars because I think I'm over 100 confirmed tables, maybe 105, and I haven't reached out to many of my regular dealers. So I do want to be oversold because there's always going to be, even last month I was oversold. I think Friday morning before the show, 24 hours before the show, I was oversold by 5 tables. And by the time Saturday morning rolls around, I think I had 5 or 6 empty tables. So that's the way the pendulum swings sometimes, especially here in the summer. And then of course, it's not just a summer thing because in the winter you have to deal with winter weather. We got lucky. There was only one instance of winter weather affecting the show, and it didn't affect it locally. It was some of my Iowa dealers couldn't make it in because northern Iowa was receiving a lot of ice. But otherwise went through winter unscathed. So fingers crossed for much of the same this upcoming winter. Let's see. DR, so jealous your ability to pull a card within minutes. Any advice for how to reimagine inventory that's sorted by team? Man, that's tough. I don't know what, Dan, your listings. So I reimagined my entire process with 8,000 listings in my eBay store, and I think you're probably right around that mark. If you're continuously listing cards, just do it now. And that way the more, it just start now. And like I said, I have, say I sell a Mike Musina 1991 Upper Deck. It's in the custom label SKU. I don't know if you're using that. Oh my God, it was a game changer. Custom label SKU on eBay, because when you bring up, when you go to ship, it'll say 1991 Upper Deck Mike Musina. It's in box 2, label E. And I just go to box 2 over here, label E. Boom, there's Mike Musina, and pull it. And I don't do rows anymore. I kind of started, I talked about this yesterday. I went away from that because as more items sell, I want to utilize all that box space. So I just go with box 2, tab E, and then I can just keep going and, say, I think box 2, I've got some space where, instead of adding another box, I can just, okay, this next, I've got room for another 85 cards. So my next tab will be, where am I at? IJ. So box 2, tab J. And then I'll go back to, I think I'm on box 5. So box 5, tab T, and so on and so forth. So Dan, I would just say start right now and use that, because that's, and actually Paul, who does the bulk labels, and that's the video that I shared in the description. That's, where I got, basically the idea. A couple people mentioned the custom label SKUs on Twitter. And I fooled around with it in different capacities before I landed on what I'm currently using. And it's just, it's a game changer. And as always, the less you have within those tabs, the easier it is to find. But therein lies, if you do too many tabs, it becomes inefficient, and you're just flipping through a bunch of tabs. So my sweet spot is about 180 to 100 per tab. And that can, once you get into, I did one where it was like 200 cards, and there you fall into that, you're flipping through a pile. It may be at the end, and it takes a long time to flip through that. So Dan, that's what my suggestion would be. Just start now. Do, box one, tab A, box one, tab B. Don't even worry about your existing inventory, because as you continue to scale up, it's going to matter, less. And you'll also feel like it almost feels like even your old process, because you're so efficient in the new way, it makes the old way seem more efficient than it was, if that makes any sense. But, sometimes, and I also run into, I never did it by teams, but I do it by year. 2018 Bowman, 2018 first Bowman, 2018 Bowman Chrome. And it's like, okay, if this is a Bowman Chrome insert, is it in the Bowman Chrome, or is it in the Bowman, or is there a Bowman insert tab? Because I think one year I did a Bowman insert tab, and all of a sudden it's like, well, crap, where in the heck is this? Tops is another one where it became tough listing by set, because there are Chrome inserts within Top Series 1. And when I go back a few years, I forget. Oh, this was the silver pack's kind of easy, but the Chrome insert 84 Tops, design. And I start going through, it's like, okay, is this in the Tops? Oh, wait, no, it's an insert. So it's in the insert pile. So it becomes inefficient for me listing by sets, where at the time when I started doing it, and I probably had a lot less volume, where, I maybe only had 20 listings from 2017 Tops. All of a sudden I list 300, and oh crap, I don't know where these are listed or filed away. Jenny says, speaking of things moving like hotcakes, eBay sales, holy moly. Now, I will say my sales are way up, but the reason they're way up is because my listings are way up. I've listed 1,000 cards this week alone. I did 525 on Monday. I did about 150 to 175 on Tuesday. I did another nearly 350 yesterday. So my sales are booming, but I'm also listing a ton of cards. So that's a lot of the reason why my my eBay sales. And I always want to be transparent with that, because not everybody's seeing that. And if you haven't listed a card in 2 weeks, it's like, well, my sales suck. I haven't sold a card in 2 weeks, but you haven't listed any cards in 2 weeks. So I want to give as much information as possible, just to make it clear that while my sales are way up, so are my listings. So my sales dollars are up 16.2% in the last 30 days. My listing impressions, so eyeballs on my listings, are up 32%. And my page views are up 25% over the last 30 days. So then you say, well, Bo, how many listings have you added since in the last 30 days? And I can tell you that because I keep track. I take a snapshot every day, usually around 9 p.m. each night. I'll take a screenshot of my eBay app with all the that way I can calculate the sell-through rate. I can also see where I was at, because it's I don't even think you can look at some of these numbers on eBay within your sales summary. So I can easily see, okay, how many listings did I have, in December? And I started tracking all of this on December 20th. So let's just go back for fun. December 20th, I had 8,612 active listings, and I was selling 54 cards per day. My sell-through rate on December 20th was 0.62%. Let's go to, where was I at on February 1st? So I was at, oh crap, I should make that static. February 1st, I was at 9,974 listings. I was at that point, I was moving 75 cards per day. So that's a nice uptick in 6 weeks. And my sell-through rate was a whopping 0.76%. So I was cruising in February. Now, let's look where we are today. And actually, it's going to be July 10th. It looks like was the last. I've got all my screenshots. I just haven't recorded them. So I was at 15,343 active listings on July 10th, which was what was that, Sunday? I was moving 79 cards per day. My sell-through rate, though, is down to 0.51%. Now, let's just let's take a look. Today's what, July 14th. So let's just do a snapshot right now. And I've got this spreadsheet all set up, so it'll do the calculations. So 213 sold in the last 90 days. And my listings, 15,624 active listings. So I'm moving just 80 cards per day. My sell-through rate is 0.512%. So it's now those sell-through rates are gonna continue dropping as I add. I'm adding far more. I'm adding on average this week 330 items per day, and I'm selling 80 per day. So that sell-through rate is going to go down, but eventually, it'll stabilize a little bit. Let's see. Victor said, there's Dan. Dan's with us. Victor says, what's up, Jenny? Finally, today will be 79. It's been moderate here. And I'm just 2 hours north of Chicago. So, we haven't seen a heat wave here. Herman, what's up? Herman, you don't do your good morning hobby world. I changed to universe so you can have your world. Let's see. Dan says received a package of Japanese Menkos today that I scanned and will do a video. Awesome. Let's see. Jenny says DR could put it by decade, but that would be very time consuming to sort. Yeah, I would agree. And that's why, because I think Dan's up around 8,000. I don't know if he's in the chat still. But I think he's around 8,000 listings, somewhere in that vicinity. And to go back and resort, I think would be, counterproductive. So as long as he continues to list, create a new method that works for him. Because I think the way I am doing it now with box 1, tab A, box 1, tab B, I think that could work for everybody. But it's kind of the other, and that's the way, sorting. When I started selling on eBay, I started selling on eBay in the 90s. So, but when I started selling, let's see, let's call this the modern era, the ultra modern era. When I started back in 2015, I had an 800 count box. I had a box. I don't have one around me. Oh yeah, I do. I had a box this size. This was my eBay store. Everything was in this box. But I was also only selling, 3-4 cards a day. So, even though it took me a while to find, I had to sort through 600 cards. It took me a little while, but I was only selling three cards a day. But as you scale up and, you sell 10, 20, 40, 50, 80, 100, then it becomes, you have to be efficient. And learning those efficiencies, the earlier, the better. Cliff, what's up? Good morning. Jenny says by decade, I mean by team still, but then by decade within the team. That might work. I still think it's counterproductive because you're going back and sorting. I don't like going back and doing something a second time if you're trying to scale up. Because it's so time consuming. And, if you continue to list and you figure out a way that's going to be efficient, say you use, my method or similar to my method, eventually, you're going to sell less because a lot of your stuff, like as you continue to list, you're selling more of your newer stuff and you're selling less of your older stuff. So, I don't know, it seems like it could be counterproductive to go back and redo what you've already done. I just ride the wave. Come up with a method that works for you, the most efficient method, and then keep your old stuff sorted as is. And when it does sell, you can go back and maybe it takes you an extra 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds to find, but you're continuously improving your methods on new listings. Bearded Bookworm says mine is done by date listed. I started it that way. I just make sure to only have one copy per day so I know exactly what card it is. Zach and Porter in the house. What's up? What I do is have a holding box and everything I list in a Monday through Friday goes in there till Sunday. Then I put by team. So many never make it to a team box. They sell the next day. And that's and Bearded Bookworm and Jenny do different methods that work for them. And just because, I'm reading that and it's like, that wouldn't work for me, but my method wouldn't work for them. And that's okay. Because when my wife comes in, she's got, I've got these new nice files and she sees my table and my table's always a mess because I'm always shipping. And she's like, I don't know how you work like this, but it's like, if everything was, I've got a pile of card savers right here. If my card savers were down here in a tub, yeah, it looks nice and it's organized, but it's not efficient because I'm using 100 of these a day, and I'm shipping. As soon as I end here, I'll do some shipping, and I'll be using these, and I'll go upstairs and I'll list some cards. I'll come back down here at 11, do some more shipping, and I'm using these. I'll go back upstairs, run to the post office, come back at 2, and I'm using these. 7 o'clock tonight, I'm using these. So if I had them tucked away, like every time I come down here, I've got to pull out the drawer. And if I only do like one at a time, I'm pulling out the drawer. So she comes in, she's overwhelmed by the mess, but the mess works for me. Now, I will say she's created some efficiencies, generally speaking. Like, okay, these card savers I have a huge tub down here that's filled with card savers and top loaders. They're nicely organized. Well, not nicely organized. They're just thrown in there, but it's a nice tub stored away. They're not in random boxes on the floor behind me. Everything has a nice spot. But when it comes to it, if I need card savers, boom, I just stack of 25 is usually right next to me. Let's see. Bearded Bookworm says, I just opened tabs for each listing of cards ordered and I'm able to pull very quickly. Herman's driving. Speaking of that, I was at the post office the other day and there was, I should have taken a picture. I found that really funny. And I think based on my analytics for people watching, I think everybody that watches this show will get that reference. But I thought that was really funny. I should have taken a picture. Shaw Cards, what's up? Good morning. John is with us. What is up? That 70s Card Show. Bearded Bookworm says, Jenny, you've said you're crazy fast at listing with templates. What do you do to make that work? And that's another thing. And Jenny and I, we've been talking about, we need to get on a Zoom call to go through this because, to me, a template, it's like, how does that work? I would be curious. Jenny, you should do a YouTube video and show the method, because I'm thinking templates, and I've tried templates and it's just not fast for me, but you're fast. And I'd be curious to see what makes you fast. How do you do it? Like for me, like File Exchange. And I know a lot of people don't like spreadsheets and File Exchange doesn't appeal to them. But it works for me. And, I can hammer it out, especially like I've been going through these dime boxes, and some people will say, man, I can't believe, why are you wasting your time listing, $2 cards, free shipping on eBay, dime box cards, and they sell. I probably have, I don't know, but I've listed, basically the 1,000 cards I've listed this week have all been out of the dime box. And I paid $100 for the 2 dime boxes that I'm listing cards out of. And I'm probably going to have, so say there's what? There the 3,200 count. Say there's 6,500 cards. There's probably going to be 3,000 of those 6,500 will hit my eBay store. The other 3,500 will be quarter box cards for me. They'll be at the next card show in a quarter. So, and I've done, and I made a sale of like 6 cards overnight, dime box cards, and they paid a $1.50. It might have been $7 to get that 25% discount, but they're moving. And that's the goal, is to move, sell somebody. I had somebody last night buy like 100 cards, but sell. So they get that volume discount. They buy 10 cards. Yeah, there's a 25% discount, but you're even with a 25% discount, I'm selling penny cards, because I bought these dime boxes outright for a penny a card. And that's my method. And yes, it's worth it. It's worth the time. Is it worth your time? Yes, it's worth my time. Card Hobbyist, what is up? Good morning. Stud Boy Sports Cards is with us. Herman says, I'm seeing the Freeman RPA everywhere now. That's how it works. You hear or see something for the first time, you want it, and then all of a sudden, there it is, haunting you at every turn. Jenny says, I have saved template for each sport, and then just make sure when I'm listing that day, I have everything one sport, so I'm not jumping around on templates. And I do the same thing for File Exchange, because I have everything and I can just copy and paste everything, boom, 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 down. And so I do, right now I'm working on baseball, because that's, most of my inventory is baseball. It is baseball season. And the dime boxes I bought are baseball. So I'm doing baseball. However, once I get through this last dime box, I'm going to do a football update, because training camp is going to be starting, maybe this week, maybe next week. Training camp is starting at some point here in the next few days. So now I'm going to go to football. And I've noticed, I'm selling CeeDee Lamb and Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence. And that stuff is starting to move where it wasn't really moving much, up until a week or two ago. But now we get closer to training camp and your football stuff is going to move. So that's, on my agenda, maybe next week, maybe this week I finish up my baseball listings, and then next week I can tackle football ahead of Here's what sucks, though, using my Fujitsu scanner. Panini sucks. Panini's paper stock sucks. Like, even the non-prism chromium finish cards don't scan well. In fact, I've been listing some, the baseball draft is coming up on Sunday. And in this dime box, there was a ton of 2022 Panini Stars and Stripes baseball. Not a chromium finish, but it doesn't scan well. It basically, it doesn't stretch the image, but it adds like this huge white block at the very end. And I can scan Bowman Chrome, Topps Chrome, as long as it's not like, older stuff curls. As long as it's not like curled, Bowman Chrome scans really well in the Fujitsu 7030. But Panini, like, none of the Panini products scan really well. Even like your standard Chronicles card, I have some issues with. Panini's paper stock blows. It sucks. So I don't know how much. That's another reason why I don't list a lot of football and basketball, because they're all damn Panini cards and they don't scan well. Anyway, that's my gripe for the day. Panini paper stock. Let's see. ATX Treasure Chest, what is up? More listings and more sales for me too. That is awesome to hear. Zach and Porter says, I got the YouTube picture-in-picture update yesterday. This is literally life-changing. I don't even know what that is. What is that? Adam, the dollar box is in the house. What is up? On Apple iOS. Okay. Is it the new Apple update? I don't think I'm always late to the game on updates. Dollar Box says the same. I don't print bulk either, one at a time in case a buyer has multiple purchases but didn't pay for them all in one transaction. Boom, Adam, the Dollar Box nailed it. So I'm gonna kind of go into my my ramblings. We've been talking about efficiencies anyway throughout the show, but when it comes to the bulk label printing, by the way, Paul Carl Cards, he said he didn't know if he'd make it in the chat. Let's scroll down. Does not look like he's made it in. But where are we at? But he sent me a link last night and shared his video, his process, and I'm watching it, in like 30 seconds in, I knew this was not going to be efficient for me. And Adam just mentioned, the Dollar Box just mentioned, if a buyer, and I have multiple buyers that, whether they purchase it at a different time or eBay's glitchy when it comes to, and I found this out firsthand, it's not a buyer making a mistake or buying it, in 2 different transactions, 3 different transactions. It's glitchy on eBay's side, because Jenny and I had this happen on a transaction. So yeah, and I've got somebody who bought a bunch of cards, but it's in like 6 or 7 different places in my eBay. So I would have to go in, and that's time. Like, printing bulk labels is not going to work. In those instances, make it more efficient. Pulling cards for me, I've got my system down, and pulling them all at the same time is not really maybe it saves a few seconds here and there, but I've got to pull the cards anyway. If I'm pulling them one at a time, or just I'm going to sit down and pull all these cards. So that's going to take time in itself. I'm still printing out the bulk labels. It looks like there's more added steps to doing the bulk labels. And just like the Dollar Box mentioned, I have somebody that's got 7 different transactions. Now I've got to go list, I've got to go find it. I've got to do that anyway. And how do I add that all in one? As I video, I'm like, there were multiple, for me, red flags on, this is not going to be efficient for my business and how many transactions I do. I want to avoid risk, and it just looks too risky. And what I mean by that is, I just feel it's open to more mistakes, misplacing cards. You put your pile, all of a sudden I go grab something and I knock the whole stack down. And now I'm spending 5 times the amount of work trying to get things organized. I just see there's too much room for error. But again, it may work. It works for Paul. It works for Nick, who was in the chat yesterday. It works for them. I just don't see it working for me. Those are some of the reasons why I don't think it's going to work for me. I think there's too much risk for me, to misplace, the stack of cards, and okay, who is this for crap? There's just a lot of stuff that could prevent it from being efficient. Jenny says, Zach, I pulled a sweet card for Porter yesterday at the LCS. Gonna have to get a package in the mail for him tomorrow. The pile is overflowing. I have several piles for many people. Victor, I've got your Jordan Nwagu and a couple Grayson Allens for you. I've got some 70s cards for John. What else do I have? I've got some other stuff, so I've got to get that out. Let's see. Jenny says, very solid point to Adam, the Dollar Box. I get those types of orders often. I think one of the first items to ship is somebody who bought a bunch of cards, but in multiple, it appears within my eBay app, or, eBay summary, as multiple orders. And it's like, I'm going through, and it's a pretty uncommon name. Okay, it's not on that page, so it's going to be on page 2. Oh, my eBay's not refreshing. Anyway, let's see. Dollar Box says, I'm just under 13,000 listings now. 55K is the goal. Number of free allowed on the store. That's awesome. 50K has been, that's kind of, 50K is what is kind of the benchmark that I've been using for projecting out my numbers. But I'm just, right now, the active listings are less important to me. It's all about scaling up as fast as I can. you know, my initial goal was 50,000 by October 15th, which is not going to happen. Hopefully I'll be at 20K. But again, my goal is to make the sales. If I'm continuing to make sales, I'd rather make consistent sales than just getting to 50,000 by October. I want to continue that scale. I want my trajectory to go like that as far as sales, and not have my sales do this and my listings are going like that. Cooter, what's up? Bearded Bookworm says, Dollar Box, doesn't that remedy itself with the combined orders button? I don't think it does, but I'm not certain. So I'll let Dollar Box answer that. ATX Treasure Chest. When I want to list fast, I do a bunch from the same set to make a draft and make copies of the draft. I can do around 60 an hour that way. That's yeah, and I do that sometimes when I do file exchange. I can list if I use. So I did last week. I did 81 top 6 tops football because I was seeing some of those cards move, and I used a basically a default stock photo of like the whole box of that year cards. And I was able to get about 150 to 160 done in 1 hour. But that was also using a stock photo. If I'm using, and I actually stopwatched myself. If I'm doing all random cards, same sport, but random years, 1989 tops, 1991 Donruss, 1997 Upper Deck, and they're all over the place. And I don't have to comp, which, you know, most of them are coming out of, you know, my penny, cards that I get for a penny. I can do the fastest. I think I was at 11 minutes and 30 seconds for 28 listings. And I think the slowest was around 14 minutes. So ends up being it times out to be about 125 listings per hour if I'm, you know, consistently boom, boom, boom. Let's see. John says here until the 25th, they don't need scratch offs. They already want to with free healthcare and college tuition. ATX is just over 13,000 listings. Let's see. Dollar Box says yes and no. I found the combined doesn't work. That sucks. Only if people put items in couldn't pay, it puts them together unless you're talking something different of the combined orders button. ATX says I did it that way for a while, changed to just numbering each listing using sticker labels and could print on the sticker at the Avery site. Very difficult to scale by yourself. It is, but it's doable. It's definitely doable. Let's see. But there's going to come a time if I maintain my sell-through rate, even if it drops to 0.4, 0.5%, at 50,000 listings, it's, you know, it's difficult as a one-man operation. Just my business, you know, that was part of my business plan. Year one, this is my strategy. This is what I'm doing. I'm going to do this for a year. I'm not making any changes. Going to ride the wave for the first year. And then by September, I'll start, okay, what needs to be done? You know, I don't think I'll be at the point where I need to hire somebody part-time once that 1 year anniversary hits, but it's definitely something, okay, now I need to consider, you know, the right path to take if I hire somebody. Am I going to hire somebody to, you know, come down to my basement and ship down here in the card room? Am I going to rent office space? Probably not. Am I just going to have to be, you know, satisfied with running this as a one-man show for another year? So those are some of the things that I'll have to sit down. My wife and I will talk about as I approach that 1 year mark, but not making any changes to the business plan, the strategy for the first year. Rich, what is up? Good morning to you. That's Herman's greeting. Dollar Box says, I bought 2 fireproof file cabinets from the police department here. It works perfect as it has adjustable sliding drawers. Very nice. Now I organize by set and year after watching how Burbank does it. Seems like the best way for when scaled up. I actually went the opposite way. That's how I was doing it. And I found it. Here's why. Here's why I went away from it, especially in the mid 90s. I have no idea. What one problem I ran into was usually you look at the back of a card and in the very fine print at the bottom, it says, okay, 2008. Well, sometimes it's not 2008, it's 2009. And I wasn't really collecting then. So I can't tell you if this is a 2008 or a 2009. And now I'm going through my 2008 cards. I can't find this damn card. Oh, wait, maybe it's 2009. No, it's actually 2007. And it was inefficient for me. Basketball and football, even worse, because I'm not as familiar with football and basketball cards. So the year and set does not work for me because I'm just not well versed on some of those little idiosyncrasies. I think Diamond Kings in the early 80s were the same way, where it may have had a trademark of 83, but it was an 82 Diamond King or vice versa. So that's why I went to, and I'm much faster. If you put 80 to 100 cards in a tab, boom, box 5, it's right there, tab A. Even a monkey could do it. Let's see. Dollar Box says, I just kind of know where things are and it's pretty efficient. That's how I was. And then it became inefficient for me. I had my 800 count box and it's like, yeah, spending some time, but I was only moving 5 cards a day, 10 cards a day. And then when I got to 25, 50, 75, it's like, oh crap. I've got to be more efficient. Let's see. Cooter says I have a saved newly listed search for Giants cards on your and Jenny's site, so I don't ever go into older listings. I have already seen them. I assume many folks do the same. I would imagine so. And because I have many repeat customers who, as soon as I put on listings, it's like, boom, sale, 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 sale. And it could either be that, or it could be, hey, this seller, you've saved this seller, or you follow this seller. They've added X amount of new listings. Here they are. So it could be one or the other. But I do. It's like as soon as I list, like within an hour, I'll get a bunch of sales and watchers. Let's see. John says, what was funny? It glitched. I have no idea. The card hobby says, I'm interested in Jenny's template process as well. Jenny says, does anyone remember where you can find the store code for shipping supplies coupon? I forget every quarter. Let's see if somebody, I think Bearded Bookworm answered that. Let's see. I'm behind in the chat. So, if that's not answered, I'll try to find that. Let's see. Dollar Box says, Dime Box Finder money. ATX Treasure Chest. I've sold 30 2019 Topps base commons in the last 6 weeks or so I know everything can sell. I sold a Kevin Moss, 1990 Fleer Kevin Moss. And Mike Summer put something up about a 91 upper deck. I think it was Ricky Henderson. And I sold 7 or 8 Jose Canseco cards. And the person offered me, and this is my strategy. This is, I know there's a lot, people upset when, offers aren't accepted, or, why even have best offers if you're only going to knock a dime off? And that's my strategy. My base listing price, starting several months ago, moving forward, is $1.50 free shipping. But I have it open to taking offers. Why do I do that? If somebody comes in and wants a 1991 Upper Deck Mike Mussina, it's $1.50 with free shipping in my eBay store. They offer me $1. I'm not going to take that because I lose money on that. I'll counter at $1.40, and they'll counter back at $1.10, and I counter back at $1.40. They counter back at $1.20, and I counter back at $1.40. Like $1.40 that's the best offer. So either take it or not. But you're like, well, why why even accept offers then? Well, the fact is, like my Jose sale last night, I had somebody come in. they offered me $1 each on 8 Jose Canseco cards. That's $8. I'm going to take that because they're going to buy 8 cards. If he only wanted one Jose Canseco card, I would not accept his $1 offer. I would counter it $1.40. But since he wanted 8 of them, he gets that discount down to $1. So that's why I have those offers. Let's see. Bearded Bookworm is answering Jenny's question. Subscription benefits under the store tab. Let's see. Dollar Box, I forget every quarter as well. I used to forget. Now I'm going through so many of the supplies that it's like, oh, is it the new quarter yet? Because I need more bubble mailers. In fact, I think I'm down to about 20 bubble mailers. So, and I think now that I'm not in at the office anymore, I don't remember quarters anymore. When I worked my office job, it's like I knew exactly when the quarter was coming up because that's bonus time. Now it's like I have to do the math. Okay, January, February, March, April, May, June. It's July 14th. It's a new quarter. I need more bubble mailers. And hopefully they'll last me until October 1st, right? Is that? Yeah, October 1st would be the start of the fourth quarter. Let's see. Terry's with us. What's up, Terry? Jenny says, thanks all. I've been restocking supplies this week. The labels I use were out of stock and not sure if they would be restocked, so I had to find a new source. Bearded Bookworm says, Bo, if you're comfortable, how much is your eBay store making? I sold used clothing for about a year, switched to cards similar. Now I'm struggling whether I should go back to clothing. I'm not gonna answer, give you specific dollar amounts, but it's well enough to pay the bills, make a good profit. In fact, my eBay store alone, like between my eBay, if I was only doing this, if I was only making income strictly from my eBay store, it would be pretty tight. You know, I'd still be able to pay all my bills, but out after that, it would be pretty tight. But I have card show income, you know, so that, you know, that's kind of, that helps. And everybody's situation is different. Like my situation, you know, I could tell you exactly how much I'm making, but it doesn't mean you're going to replicate that. So if you're not comfortable with the income you're making selling low-end cards, go back to clothing. That's probably the best advice I could offer. If you're not happy with what you're doing, something that you're comfortable with. Zach says, I didn't update my phone, but I can now watch YouTube on a smaller screen while navigating through my phone. Oh, that is sweet. Oh my gosh. That is so awesome. And I say that because it's here in particular, a lot of times, and this is why I don't do Hobby Hotline on Saturdays, because usually 2 or 3 Saturdays a month, usually I'm on the road traveling to a card show or maybe at a card show. But many times I'm driving and I'll schedule like, okay, I'm going to leave at 10 o'clock. I'm going to leave at 9:05 so I can turn on Hobby Hotline and listen to it in the car as I drive. But it's annoying because if, you know, I'm stopped somewhere or, you know, I get a text message, you know, I can't check it because it'll turn off the YouTube stream. So that's a game changer. So that's why I was so excited, because that's been like my number one annoyance with YouTube is I can't, like, even like if I'm watching especially live videos, that's why, you know, there's a lot of times where I miss live because I'm, you know, it's like, okay, I'm doing eBay stuff and I may be on my phone and I can't walk and chew gum at the same time, watch YouTube and list cards at the same time. So that's huge. So let's see. I didn't update my phone, so maybe it's like a YouTube update. I'll have to check that out. That's awesome. That's a game changer. Let's see. Zach says, I sent you a text with a picture of what it looks like. You can share. YouTube said it will roll it out slowly to users. I consume most content via phone. Big day. That is awesome. Let's see. Bearded Bookworm says one at a time is foolproof. Rich says, as Brad would say, you do you boo. And Rich had lunch with our friend Texas Card Dude. Wagyu, wait, isn't that a type of meat? What's up, baseball card curmudgeon? Jenny says, here's your 50K by October 15th goal. I challenge you to be able to click last 12 month sales on October 15th and have it say you sold 50K in the last 12 months. Let's see if that's doable. Let's see. Because I don't know if 50K in 12 months is going to be doable. Because that's what? Hey, we're 3 months out. Wow, 3 months from the 1 year anniversary, like right at the bottom of your eBay the eBay summary. Maybe if I go into sales, let's do custom. Let's do 10. And here's why I say it's going to be difficult, because I hate this. Let's do July. Can I do it? I don't know if it'll let me do a year. Let's see if it'll let me do it. July 14th, 20. Let me. The reason it's going to be tough is because, as you scale up, this first year all about climbing and getting there. So, really the second year is where you start to see the actual results, because I'm still in the growth stage. Not doable, but I've sold 24,000 cards in the last year since July 14th. July 14th through yesterday, 24,000 items sold. I guess I can't say all cards, because there was some magazines and a BlackBerry phone, ticket stubs. Let's see. Safe at home. What is up, Ed? Late to the party. Good morning to you. Dollar Box says, where do you see your sell-through rate on the app? It's not on the app. You have to calculate it yourself. Here's how I calculate it. I use my app. And go to, so right on the homepage of your app, it has your 90-day totals. So take your sold listings and divide that by 90. And that gives you how many items per day you sell over the last 90-day period. And then take that number, take your daily number, and divide that by the number of active listings. Now that's going to be, it's not pure science, because that number is going to vary, especially over 90-day period. But if you track it on a daily basis, a good idea of where you're tracking and how you're doing. My number my sell-through rate is declining because I've been so much more inventory to my eBay store here over the last couple of weeks. And this week I've already added just over 1,000 listings Monday through Wednesday of this week. So that's how you calculate your sell-through rate. And I keep a spreadsheet and I track all of this data because it's not tracked on eBay. So my sell-through rate right now is about 0.5. What is it? I typed it in. Is 0.512. Actually, 0.513% is my sell-through rate as of like right now. And that's going to vary. You sell an item. Have I sold an item since I tracked that? I don't think so. 7213. Yep. So my numbers haven't changed in the last 20 minutes. But if I sell something right now, it's going to slightly skew that number. And then, by 9 p.m. tonight, my numbers are going to be way different because it takes a different 90-day snapshot. I may have sold 100 cards throughout the day. And if I didn't list anything, my sell-through rate's going to go up. But if I sell 100 cards and go upstairs and list 500 cards, my sell-through rate is going to drop. So I track it at the same time or a similar time, like 9 p.m., 10 p.m., is when I record. Basically, I just take a screenshot of my app and then I plug it into the spreadsheet the next morning. So that's how to calculate your sell-through rate. Take your items sold, your 90-day snapshot, items sold in the last 90 days, divide that by 90 to get your daily number, and then take your daily number and divide it by your active listings number, and that's going to come up with your percentage. So at the peak back in February, March of last year, I was at a 2.3% sell-through rate. Today, I'm at a 0.523% sell-through rate. I think within the last 6 months, my highest sell-through rate was around 0.8. I was at, and I actually recorded it on my whiteboard. When I went full-time, I was at a 1.2% sell-through rate. Now, that was on 3,000 listings. Now I'm at almost 16,000 listings. So that's another thing. The more listings, it takes a while for the sold, and maybe, I added 1,000 common football cards. I'm not going to sell a bunch of those, but when I do sell them, it's like, hey, it's almost like free money, because it basically was just sitting in boxes. So any profit from that is pure 100% profit. Kin's with us. What's up, Kin? Good morning. Let's see, where are we at? Bearded Bookworm says dollar box. He's doing it manually. Number of sales divided by, there you go. Number of sales divided by 90, then divide that by your number of active listings. Zach and Porter says, damn, I wish we lived closer. Porter would be your perfect employee. Heck yes. Let's see, since you're buying a new house and remodeling, you should sit down and think about making a separate entrance into your cart area and a restroom in there. You could hire someone without house access. Actually, that's it's one of that's like a major selling point. There is an entrance into into the new house basement. There's from the garage that goes straight into the basement, and you don't even have to. It'll go straight into the basement. So yes, so that's definitely a consideration. So I actually didn't even think about that until you brought it up. Yes, that actually. And not only that, there's a walkout, so there's a separate entrance to the backyard into the basement. That could also work. Let's see, and there will be a bathroom in the basement. So that's good stuff. Cooter says, I think a Wi-Fi booster is the best first-year investment you could make. Actually seems like a great 9-month investment. I know. I should. It's either that or in this time next year, I'll be in the new house, and that's what we actually meet with our designer tomorrow, and that's I think I brought this up. The first concern was during the flood 5 years ago, was there any water in the basement? Second concern, I need Ethernet plugins in the office and in the card room. So we'll get that accomplished. Let's see. Paige and Dina being in the house. What is up? Zach says, don't iOS shame me. Zach and Porter says, I think Twitter is down. I've tried sharing this video 3 times and it says error. I tried accessing via laptop and it says error, not my fault. Huh. Let's see. I have not been on Twitter since I posted the link. And who knows on my end, because my Wi-Fi sucks, but yeah, I'm not, let's see. Well, I was working on eBay. Yeah, Twitter's not working. Twitter's not working on my end. So it's am I frozen? No. Dollar Box says, wow, 24,000 cards sold. Well done. Thank you. Johnny Boy Cards confirms Twitter is down. Okay, and it's also down on my end. How long until the new house basement has cards in it? A year. Well, 11 months, 11 to 12 months. 11 to 12 months. But I've got a lot of work to do as far as like getting rid of some of my bulk. So within the next few months, I'm definitely going to be, getting my bulk moved. Commons, even uncommons. I've got to figure out, okay, what what's going to be store inventory, what can go, what do I want to, keep around. So there's going to be well over 1 million cards moved because there's 825,000 and that number grows, Cubs. And then, store inventory, current store inventory, I'm at, I don't know, 20, probably close to 25,000 cards in my eBay store, a little over 20,000 probably. And then non-unlisted inventory would be, potentially 100,000 plus. On me on player lots, Something Sports Cards. What's up? Good morning. What's your eBay store name, or anyone in the chat help me? I'm new here. Well, hey, welcome. Welcome to the show. Zach says Twitter is back up. Something Sports Cards. Thank you very much. Jenny put the link up. Awesome. Thank you, Jenny. 11 to 12 months. Does your contract have this? Well, here's the, we're not closing until December, and then the renovations begin in January, and then it'll be done in June. So that's the timeline. So not even closing until like December 30th. And then renovations begin like mid-January. Let's see. So there we go. Madison Card Show, July 23rd. I got a new dealer who's a viewer of this show, reached out to me. So shout out to Aaron. He is on YouTube. I've got to look again. Baseball Card Illustrated. So he's coming down to set up at the July 23rd show. Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive, Saturday, July 23rd. Will be a sellout of 120 dealer tables. So it'll be on 2 floors. First floor, Williamson Ballroom, upstairs, main ballroom, and then the outside mezzanine. There will be crystal clear showcases will be there. If you are a dealer, they do rent out showcases for the day, $30 for the day to rent a showcase. 5-star cards will be there. So you could submit for grading to PSA and SGC. So check that out. And I've received 2 from first-time dealers wanting to set up at the September show. And I'm like, I'll put you down. You're in. Just follow up with me in mid-August since we're so far out. So in September, and I have, I guess I could call them semi-regulars because they've taken the summer off, but I have at least 3 former regulars that took the summer off that'll be back in September. So I may sell out the September show by the end of July. And that was kind of what I was thinking, based on a lot of my former regulars that, hey, I'm going to take May, June, July, August off. I'll be back in September and set up through the winter months. Let's see. Jenny says post 2019, more about finding materials and contractor speed. That's the truth. That's the truth. Card fellas, what's up? Victor, what's your store? I love me some Tom Brady. Jenny says shout out to the Zone Cards in North Dakota for putting the Madison Card Show all dates of 22 on their website. Oh, awesome. I was looking at shows last night there and they had all your dates up. Very cool. That's awesome. Yeah, they were he was awesome to work with. He came down to was it last month? The June show. Sean's going to be back from Kansas City. So we've got and that's what, I was talking to Billy from Baseball Card Exchange about the Madison Card Show, and he's like, is it, a lot of the same dealers every month? I'm like, no, that's actually kind of the cool part of the show is I have a lot of rotating dealers that come in from North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, Kansas City, Indiana, Chicago. So it's not the same dealers every month. Yeah, there's the regulars that are there every month, but then there's also like kind of a rotation. And some of the regulars can't make a show and, plug in new vendors. So that's what I really like about the show, and what it's become is pretty cool. Ken says, Jenny, put some Earnhardt cards in your store. Dollar Box says, get a Wi-Fi mesh network and you will have perfect reception in your basement. I'm going to write that down. Mesh network. Okay. I'll look into that. Let's see. Jenny says she has none. Ken and I have been talking about my NASCAR bulk, and now as I'm talking about, I need to get rid of my bulk. Ken, since this new house has come up, I will be getting to my randomness much faster than initially planned, so we can work out a deal for my NASCAR bulk. And it's not sure. I know there's Earnhardt's. I also have some. I know it's going to be tough because some of it's in binders, and frankly, I don't want to ship. I guess I could ship them. I'll just remove the binders and ship them in by the pages in boxes. So I will as I dig in. It'll still be a couple months out before I tackle this. Probably be like a fall project, but I will definitely get all of my NASCAR stuff because I do know, and actually I think I've got a box that says racing on it that I can see way up there on one of my shelves back there. I don't know if there's NASCAR in it though. I assume there is because I typically don't. If it says racing or NASCAR, it hasn't been touched. So I'll be diving into that. So we're over an hour, so I'm going to wrap things up. Thanks for tuning in. By the way, we talked about efficiency today in the bulk label printing. Paul Carl Cards here on YouTube did the video. He showed his process. Like I said, it's just not efficient for me, but it doesn't mean it's not efficient for you. It works for Paul. It works for others. So check out his video. It's the link is in the description to this video here. So check that out. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Back at it tomorrow morning. I do have another video I'm going to do. It may be one of my backyard quickies. Backyard quickies. We have, speaking of mind in the gutter, when I go to the post office where I have my P.O. box is actually like further away from the closest post office. But I go there because that's where my P.O. box is. So anyway, if I just have like envelopes, like my standard envelopes that I need to take, sometimes I just go to the post office and drop it off at the in the drop box, in the blue boxes outside the post office that's closest to me across the street. And every time I drive by, because I have an adolescent sense of humor, there's a store that's called Patio Pleasures. And it tickles me every time I see the big sign. Maybe next time I drop my mail off over there, I'll have to share a picture. Patio Pleasures, because my mind is in the gutter. Ken loves backyard quickies. So I'll do a backyard quickie because I have thoughts on, and now it's escaping me what I was actually going to talk about. It was on the there's a topic that I wanted to touch on. Damn it. And now I can't even remember what it was. But I had some thoughts. Why losing money on a transaction on eBay is actually a good thing. That's what the video is going to be about. So sometimes I still have grandfathered in some cards that are priced at 99 cents with free shipping. And I get asked all the time, how do you make money on that? And the answer is I don't. And I've talked about this. It's my Costco rotisserie chicken, but it's actually a good thing. And it actually, there's several positives that go along with that counteract the losing money, because now with the standard envelope, it used to be a loss of 6 cents. Now it's a loss of 10 cents with the standard envelope pricing going from 53 to 57 cents. So it's a dime loss, but I'm going to share why that's actually a good thing. Not losing money, but the transaction itself. Dollarbox says, excited to get to the Madison show next weekend. 2-hour drive, so we'll have to leave early to get back to Green Bay for the soccer game at Lambeau. Very cool. Looking forward to seeing you. And Adam, there's a much better selection of bargain boxes here, especially in the last, I'd say 3 months. Maybe with starting with the April show, I started to see more bargain boxes. And like my June, I made out. I had a really good bargain box day at the June show. And I didn't, and I say that, and I didn't even shop until about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. And there were people walking the show floor 8:30 before the show officially started. So I was late to the party and still had a great day in the bargain boxes. Rich says backyard quickies, patio pleasures, Bo's new position, director of videos. I think that's a future occupation. Girls love baseball cards. Let's see. Let me know if you want any links for mesh Wi-Fi units. Yeah. Shoot me a Facebook message. Link here, but I'll probably, if you shoot me a Facebook message, I'll see it. If you leave it in the chat here, I'll miss it. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe. Have a great day. Back at it tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Weekend looks clear, so I'll be live Saturday and Sunday. To be announced what time I go on. Sometimes it's early at 7, sometimes it's 9. Just depends on when I decide to start my day. So I will be live, but I will be live both Saturday and Sunday. No shows scheduled, and no out of town activities. So we'll be live this weekend. So back at it tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Have a great Thursday, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.